Why the title? Because a very dear and wonderful cousin of mine actually believes that I'm not a very good person. I'm not a religious person because I enjoy an occasional glass of wine and an occasional ice cold beer. And every once in a while I will have company that'll come over and we will have a cookout. This steak is part of that cookout. The chicken was delicious, but the steak was not a hit. So here you have the steak with some onion and some thyme. I melted some butter in a saucepan and then I added it all to the saucepan. Because the actual barbecue sauce is called sweet and spicy, the original idea was to simmer the steak in onion and thyme, of course, and butter, and add some brown sugar. That was the original idea. And then one of the gifts that I receive, of course I am always getting some beautiful gifts, is a bottle of wine. Moscato is a lovely wine, it's just that it's a sweet wine, and I'm not a great fan of sweet wine. And then I had a thought. Instead of adding brown sugar to my steak to add more sweetness to it, since I'm not a fan of Moscato, of this particular Moscato, it's really sweet, why not add, you ready for this? Why not add the Moscato to the steak? And I started to videotape it, of course, because if it turned out well, I wanted to share it with everybody. If it did not turn out well, then of course you'd never see it. Well, I think adding the Moscato to the steak that was simmering in the onion and the thyme was not a bad idea at all. So in went the Moscato wine. In it went. It was fun, but I wasn't finished yet. I had become even more adventurous. You know me. I like to cook things in a very simple way, and I like to encourage people to be creative when they cook. So, in following my own rules, I had an egg. Along with the egg, I had some flour, about a 3/4 cup of flour, and to that I added maybe half a teaspoon of baking powder. Mixed it well as I could, I think. And the important thing is, once it was mixed well, then I got my egg. Along with the egg, I added some milk, maybe a 1/4 cup of milk to one egg, mixed it well, and then I added my mixture. By the way, this is where you want to add your salt and pepper. My egg mixture, the egg and the milk, along with some salt, was then added to the flour, and I did try my best to mix that well. Once that was done, then I decided that I would become even more adventurous. You are getting ahead of me, aren't you? Of course. Drop dumplings. Now, that's what I call them, because I don't know what else to call them, really. It's just a matter of dropping the batter inside my steak. Remember, this is the grilled steak that was left over from the barbecue yesterday. The chicken was a hit. Everybody enjoyed the chicken. The hot dogs became a hit. But the steak, people didn't care for it as much. So I decided rather than waste food, I would use the grilled steak and I would make some sort of a stew-like thing. And in the stew, I would have my drop dumplings. I cannot imagine this is original, but I don't know what they're called, really. I just call them drop dumplings because I don't know what else to call them. Anyway, once they came back to a boil, I simply put a lid on and I went ahead and I had them simmer for about 30 minutes or so. And at one point when I looked at it, I thought they were a little thick. So I added a little bit of water to the mixture. Now, if you happen to make this, you're going to have to watch it. If it's not too thick, don't bother adding anything to it. But I thought maybe it was a little thick. Then I added the water, bring it to a boil, and once again I had it simmer. Yes, of course, I know. White wine with fish and chicken, red wine with steak. But be that as it may, I also discovered something yesterday with the barbecue. I found a brand new way to start your barbecue without chemicals. Remind me to make a video about that and show you, because I think it's intriguing. Okay, fine. So the word intriguing is a little much, but you know what? I find it to be very interesting. A very interesting way to start your barbecue without using any chemicals. Anyway, at the end of 35 minutes or 40 minutes or so, this is what I had. I had my beef soup or stew. Actually, it's more like a soup with my drop dumplings. And I gotta tell you, it turned out to be delicious. I will be making this again. Really, I will be doing it again. In the meantime, please continue to send me your comments and your suggestion. Bon appetit.